when they're joined together. Yeah, if we've got two houses joined together, we call it a semi-detached house. If it's a house all on its own, it's called a detached house. And if it's one in a row, it will be a townhouse or a row house, you could call it. Rows and cut us off and we became an island. So we never got them, thank goodness. And then on the other side, some of our wild birds as well. So you can take a look at those. So look, no snow. And some Irish pirates went across the Irish Sea to the country of Wales, and they kidnapped young Patrick, and he made this journey 200 miles south over difficult terrain. And sure enough, he reached Wexford, and sure enough, there was a boat waiting there for sea for many, many, many miles around. So knowing of this tradition, Patrick very astutely positioned himself strategically on the hill opposite the hill of Tara. Now the roof is really high there. It's unusual to see that here. We'll be turning right here, folks. Last little views of Doongora Castle.
Oh, shoot. I got a picture of the tree. That's pretty. Oh, shoot. Look at the sheep. You only got that.
Now folks, in a moment we're taking you down. 250-year-old thatched roof cottage here at the Rathbone farm. Here we are at the Rathbone farm, where we watched a sheep shearing and had some lovely scones. This is a 250-year-old thatched roof farmhouse, and the scones were probably the best scones I've ever had. They say these thatched roofs are very expensive and they last about 25 years, so I think a tile roof is probably your better option. but. Of Galway, gonna go have a pint and a little something to eat because we have dinner later, and enjoy some street entertainment here in this very quaint little village. Looks like a nice day so far, but of course, as we know, in Ireland that can change.
You see it yet?
And here we have my line of knitwear. I didn't even know I had it. Is this the street that they pointed out that was so busy with people? Because it seems less busy now than it did when we could go try to find that. What was that cathedral that she said was so? Not the new cathedral. She said there was an old one. Maybe that was it.
The new one.
Yeah, because he's got more than one string on it. Look, when he opens it up. Let's see.
Okay, maybe a triple spin. Come on! Yeah! Nice one! Yeah! Thanks for volunteering. Yeah. Just on the grey ring, please. It's okay, they're all grey. Ladies and gentlemen, that was 5 torches. I think you won't see this trick in Ireland for at least a number of years. I've spent a lot of time practicing this. Number 3, number 4, and the 5th one I shall put out with my men. Don't try and stop me. If you're wondering where the other half of the face went, that's this trick. Yes! Okay, mate, what's your name? Call.
For a little walk around downtown Ennis, very cute town here, and then we're going to have a little dinner. Mom has just done some more purchasing here. You find something good?
Oh yes, something for Riley.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's all wrapped up so I can't show you.
Well, we wouldn't want to spoil the secret. So we head on down the street here and see what downtown Ennis has to offer us.
You want to go in an Ennis supermarket?
You can.
Why don't we cross here now?
Cheers. Nice. Here at the cloister. Nice dinner at the cloister this evening. Now we're just out for a walk, trying to walk off the fat before we have our dessert later at the Preacher's Pub. Dessert and maybe an Irish coffee or some such thing. We're walking down this very neat little street here. We are crossing the River Shannon on the ferry. It's a nice sunny day today for once. I hope this sticks with us while we make our way across the Ring of Kerry. We're going from County Cork to County Kerry. About a 30-minute ferry ride. And it's nice out there.
The late great Richard Harris, wonderful actor. It was his life ambition, if they ever made a movie of the play The Field, that he would play the main character, someone called Bull McCabe. And today they make the wind turbines. So this is Kilorglin, Look on the left, the pub's called the Bianconi. Remember the guy I told you who set up the stagecoach in Ireland, Bianconi? And I told you the nickname of this county is the home to burn in the fireplace. The sods burn for about 40 minutes each. They create a fine black ash and they have a particular aroma. It's an aroma that we find very
The spectacular ring of Kerry here. Nice video.
Dingle Bay. Oh, of course we found out how to organise that. Let's find a leprechaun and you say, no, don't bother. You're wasting your time. This story about find the leprechaun, wasting your time, folks.
Oh, pretty. Oh, that's fabulous. Wow. Right over the water.
That's Dingle Bay. Very pretty. We'll pull into the bay down here, folks, on the right, and you can get off and take some photographs.
You're here at what they call Ladies' View, after Queen Victoria and her ladies in waiting. But as you can see, with all of the rain and mist and fog, there's not much of a view today. It is a little bit bleak. But what can you do?
I'm sorry, yes, of course.
Making a museum out of it now, hi guys. They're making a museum out of it now at the moment as we speak. That's a hooded crow. I tell you, there was a grey body in the black wing. That was beside them. A hooded crow. There they are. Anybody? Is Annie looking after you guys alright? I trained her well. 3 weeks for the whip and I had a job made of her. Go on. She's not really cheating, she's just getting even. That's all rhododendron stacked up back the woods, guys. Rhododendron done to us what kudzu done down South America, took over everything. Come on. Come on. Come on. What? Hello. That's the bamboo on the left. That's bracken fern on the right, guys. Bracken. And in between it is the fiddlehead, one of the Canada, the fiddlehead. Right, that's it? No. Yes. That's it, yeah, you can see in Canada, the spring fiddlehead. That's a honeysuckle up the tree, up the honeysuckle. Hello. All back to the right.
Wow. Do you burn that or is it just...
Oh, they leave it to decay down itself there now. And look at the tree with the red berries, that's mountain ash or rowan tree. They don't burn it anymore over the environment. They let it decay down itself.
Yeah.
Because, and it's a natural habitat for the birds to nest in afterwards. Everything is left natural like myself. You see the grey moss up the trees, the fluffy moss?
Yeah.
Can anybody tell me what's made out of that? You might and you might not be allergic to it. Come on. Penicillin.
Oh.
The antibiotic is made directly out of lichen or lichen moss. It's also made from the mold it grows in bread and cheese, but it's made directly from that moss. They make digitalis, the heart drug, from the flower of the foxglove. They make aspirin out of meadow sweet. They make tamoxifen, the breast cancer drug, from the bark of the yew tree. Hello, how you doing? Hola. Hola, Paloma Blanca. Over the mountains I fly. Hola, Paloma Now, if we can knock him off the bike, we get 15 points. 20 without damaging the bike. Go ahead, fellas, keep rolling, you're fine. We wanted to knock you down, but I said no way. Hello, this is Hippie Pops taking bells at town. Hello. That's
You get the one.
Woman on a bicycle. Wheels and wheels, yeah.
Car and the horse Great Balls of Fire. I wonder if that's really his name.
Come on, and I'll make a Ford out of your Toyota. Come on. Sandy, go on. Dang me, she said, dang me, I'm going to get a rope and I'm going to...
How old is your horse?
Horse only 6.
6.
A
young one.
Every 2 days, they do 2 days on and 2 days off, guys.
Oh, that's nice. I wish I had a job like
They're
that.
in the union. Doesn't any leprechauns indoor swimming pool? Alright. Come on, horse. Hello. Meet me on the other side of the wall. Hello. Now there's the horse racetrack on my right, folks, in there, look. And in the middle of the racetrack, there's a 9-hole golf course. Come in the middle of the racetrack, guys. Yeah.
Here in Killarney, I've gone to the ATM machine to pick up a couple more euros, probably on This is a pretty town, but not as pretty as Ennis and some of the other places we've seen. We are just down here in the Killarney Avenue Hotel, which is right around the corner, apparently.
Right there. Mrs. Mulkinnock would not have shoes. Mrs. Mulkinnock was over the moon with the finished product. Wonderful. Okay, so just to navigate you a little bit, on the left's the bank, the AIB bank. The castle is down the next little turn to the right, so you just go straight down there, and then there's a little entrance area. Once you go through there are bathrooms on the right, and you walk.
This morning in Blarney, we're ready to go up and kiss the Blarney Stone and get the gift of gab, but Mom had to stop for a little break here, and then we'll be off to see yet another castle, one of many on this trip. I should call this the castle trip. Here we are at Blarney Castle, ready to kiss the stone. You're gonna kiss it. Get those lips ready. You want to put on some chapstick or something, or get a little piece of saran wrap and put it over the thing.
Yeah, there you go. She said something about if you're claustrophobic, it isn't good. I kind of went, yeah, and I'm not sure about that.
That's not a problem for me.
Look at this
It's
beautiful,
a beautiful garden.
stream
Yeah.
running through.
And there it is.
Look at the heel tracks. It's having to like to be taken off for the Look at the view of it.
You want me to get your picture standing there in front of it?
Yeah, right. We'll be thinking about you.
You want to go see the Irish Garden?
Lining up for the Blarney Stone. A very steep climb up the Blarney Castle here up this staircase, but we're gonna go kiss the stone. Get your kissing lips ready.
It's so crowded you feel like you couldn't fall because people hold you.
Yeah, exactly. Where you would view your opponents coming to get you. Get the murder hole ready.
Yeah, ready the boiling oil. Somebody boil the oil. We may be coming to it here.
1700s.
Well, that's what I was wondering, is if it's burned down, what it's still doing there.
Oh, look at them. Raisins.
Yeah, right.
They built this thing gold.
Like you've got the gift of gab now. Let's hear you talk.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Can't shut up. I gotta talk. I gotta keep talking.
So I think the guy.
All the more people waiting to have my backwash. Small room here off to the side with windows that are not blocked. This one.
They have people suing them, and you asked for that.
Well, maybe you're not supposed to go back in this way. I wonder what this room was. Maybe a closet or something. This is where the family room would have been. This was probably a fireplace. And up above it, it is not this tall where you can see those squares, would have been the floor, because up above it would have been the banqueting room where they had their dinners and their banquets and such. Well, I kissed the Blarney Stone. God knows what kind of Irish herpes I now have all over my lips. But hey, you know, I feel like I could talk forever now. I could just keep going and going and tell any kind of story, both old and new, and I just keep going on, and funny stories and sad stories, and you know, there is somebody kissing the Blarney Stone way up there. And you just hope that you don't see them coming down, 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 down. South face of the Blarney Castle, and you can see right there what they call the garderobe. And there's another one a little bit further up. Yes, indeed, those were the bathrooms where they would just fall down here and I guess just make nice green grass.
Clock faces there. They all used to be out of sync with each other. They didn't tell the right time. We called it the four-faced liar. And there was a legend that if you ever corrected them, it would signify the end of the world. What a load of blarney. They did some work on that a few years ago. They fixed them and we're still here. What was that all about, the end of the world, for goodness sake? Anyway, here's the brewery on the right. Heineken and Murphy.
Church up by the brewery.
It's funny that they brew Heineken here.
In the city center. As picturesque as Emma's.
No. But it's a much bigger city. I mean,
Clock faces there. They all used to be out of sync with each other. They didn't tell the right time. We called it the four-faced liar. And there was a legend that if you ever corrected them, it would signify the end of the world. What a load of blarney. They did some work on that a few years ago. They fixed them and we're still here. What was that all about, the end of the world, for goodness sake? Anyway, here's the brewery on the right. Heineken and Murphy.
Church up by the brewery.
it's funny that they brew Heineken here.
In the city center. As picturesque as Emma's.
No. But it's a much bigger city. I mean,
So when we go through the next set of lights, I want you to take a little glance to the left and you can tell me the other country in the world that we compare Cork to. Okay, take a little look. Left. San Francisco.
Look at that.
You get that one.
Or Seattle.
It also compares itself, wait till you hear this, to Venice. Folks, you've got a view on the right of Dungarvan Bay, Dungarvan. So you might have noticed a bit of garbage this morning. It's not people leaving trash. Well, it's garbage day, okay? It's not people littering. You actually get fined if you litter in Ireland. If you're caught littering, you get fined. There was a TV presenter who dropped 2 cigarette butts on the ground. She got fined 100. So it's €4 per lift, but you also pay for the weight of the rubbish as well. That's why sometimes it's hard to find a bin, because getting rid of it. So after the visit we'll go and check into the hotel, and then we've got our pub visit for those of you doing that. And then we've got dinner later on. Pretty good hurling players as well here in Waterford, the Dacia. Also famous for
say with myself.
Here we find ourselves on the glowing floor. The craftsman up on the platform there has just taken out what we call a billet of crystal from the furnace. Now it's attached to a glowing iron, and using the handheld tool there, all he's doing for the first time is going to determine the thickness of the piece of crystal. And the crystal, like I say, is coming out of the main furnace at 1400 degrees Celsius, but once it's out it cools down rapidly, so he's just popped it back into the portable furnace there just to heat it up once more. Once it's heated up, then he's going to pop it back on the apparatus in front of him, and using the hand tool once more, he's just going to predetermine the shape of the crystal. Once he's got the required shape, he's going to lower it into the cast, which is just down on the floor there. And it's a cast iron cast that he's using today, so we know that it's a production piece. Had it have been a timber cast, it would have been a trophy piece for a special order. And like I said back in the history room, we don't do coloured crystal here. The glow on that is just the pure heat. As it cools down, it will become clear. So once he lowers it into the mould there, he's going to blow through the blowing iron and continually turn it, just so that it doesn't stick in the mould. Then the piece of crystal you can see forming at the top of the mould. This is known as the cap, and the cap's sole purpose is just to attach the blowing iron to the billet of crystal. It's going to get cut off at a later date, it will get crushed up and it will go back into the furnace, as we recycle all of our crystal here in the factory. And once it comes out of the mould then, it's going to be placed on the table down in front of you, and it's going to be inspected for the first time. Now, every piece of crystal in the factory will be inspected 6 times throughout its journey, and at any given time it can be rejected. Running at 450 degrees. At the end of the shift, the temperature will be lowered over the space of around 12 hours, and this is to allow the crystal to cool at a nice steady temperature. If it was allowed to cool out in the open air, it can bruise and shatter, and it can even explode. When you're seeing it turn on the table, it looks like it's uneven. It's not. It's the actual cap that is uneven, and that cap's going to get cut off, so the bowl will be symmetrical, it won't be wobbly. But we'll see that process up on the next stop. Being made. It's going to make its way up here. It's going to be placed on the turntables just here, and on the turntable the craftsman's going to put a grid reference on it, like what I've got here. Just horizontal and vertical lines will be drawn all over the crystal. This will give the master cutter a starting point and a finishing point. So keep it nice and symmetrical all the way around. There won't, however, be a design or a pattern drawn onto the crystal. The master cutters have to memorise every design that we do here. The crystal you've just seen being made, it's going to make its way up here. It's going to be placed on the turntables just here, and on the turntable the craftsman's going to put a grid reference on it, like what I've got here. Just horizontal and vertical lines will be drawn all over the crystal. This will give the master cutter a starting point and a finishing point. So keep it nice and symmetrical all the way around. There won't, however, be a design or a pattern drawn onto the crystal. The master cutters have to memorise every design that we do here. Heavy. Oh, he's gonna go again. I'm saying it's in shorty. You can pass that along at your photograph taken with, it's not a bother. Now there are 2 cuts predominantly used here in the factory. If I hold this piece up to be able to see it. This cut down here, this is known as the wedge cut. This is going to be used around the body of the piece of crystal and also on the base. And then around the top here we have what we call the right tor or the flat cut. That begins around the tops of the cactus and also on the stem wire on the grasses. So this would start out round. They only cut 5% of the overall crystal that we produce. They do the research and development pieces, the new designs before they go out to market. We'll practice them in the machine. They'll also do the exceptionally large and heavy pieces that the craftsman just couldn't physically hold from the start, where they'll put so much of the design and then we pass back to the craftsman. Look at the very beginning of the table, you'll see there's a brick of crystal. This is what the craftsman's going to start off with. Once he has his brick of crystal, he's going to draw his design on it, and using the cutting wheels and the hand tools, then he's going to start to carve out the design that he's drawn. Now some of the pieces you'll see in front of you, they're made up of multiple pieces of crystal. The piano that you can see there, I think it's 13 pieces of crystal that make the piano. Once they've all been hand carved and polished, they go and get glued together. Now we have a special glue here, it's made by It won't discolour over time, it's always going to stay clear, so you won't notice it. When the two pieces are actually put together, they're passed under an ultraviolet light, which happens just here with this width, but what's happened to me right. On the second table then, the first trophy you can see at the front is the Solheim Cup, the ladies' golfing trophy. Behind it then you have the Santa Anita. Have Orford crystal at home, you might not know if it is. There's ways to check it. Every piece of crystal leaves the factory, it's going to come with a sticker on. Now I know stickers come on the box. If you turn it upside down and have a look.
Waterford. I'm going to get some candy for the kids. By myself. Mom is back in the hotel. She said that she found a place down this way. So I'm looking. And I'm seeing what there is to see and what there is to look at. Here in Waterford, definitely not the prettiest of the Irish towns we've seen, but the weather is actually the nicest we've had here. You can see I am out in a t-shirt where I have been having to bundle up all the time, but our trip here in Ireland is just a few days away from being over, and then we'll be heading over to jolly old London town. Our hotel in downtown Waterford here, the Granville, which used to be the home of the man who invented the Irish flag, designed the Irish flag.
I'll do it for you. Just over to the right there are 5 flags and a little wall, and in front of that wall you've got the statue of JFK, so Anto will go slow as he can, bearing in mind there's quite a lot of traffic behind us. So just coming up on the right hand side where those 5 flags are, there's a little wall, and there's the statue of JFK. People around the world can claim Irish ancestry. because the people defending the castle would have got a great view from there. And you've got to remember that the person who was living in the castle was the enemy, because that's why they built themselves a fortress, to protect them. They were taking over. In the 13th century, it was the Anglo-Normans, the great castle builders. They were taking over Ireland. They were the enemy of the natives. They needed to protect themselves, so they built a structure so strong that it's still here.
Now there's more American
So there's Fitzgerald's. Oh, they're doing a little bit of work on it.
So once again, you're all really welcome. There has been a mill on the site here dating right back as far as 1723. So there's a huge amount of history in this particular area, both with the textile and weaving, but farming and mining are the two other industries that would have been carried on here over the last 200 or 300 years. The last copper mine closed in this valley in 1982. And why I mention the mining is because the two industries have worked side by side. This valley was home to the largest copper mine in Europe in the mid-1800s. So clothing and blankets would have been produced at the mills here for those miners and their families. Also, it would have worked, all of the preparation work was done here, and those practices continued right up until almost 1960. And there's lots of old photographs that you'll see on the walls of that preparation work actually taking place. So you'll see that as you go through your tour today. Now, due to progress, everything that we use come to us on cones like these. So the wool is ready dyed, ready prepared. When we get it, we do the weaving here. Now, the mill has had many owners over the years, as you can imagine. But three sisters stand out in that history of ownership. They took over the running of the mill here and bought the mill in the early 1920s. One of them had studied textiles, so she was sort of the head honcho, if you like, but they did combine their talents and were very astute women. By the end of the 1950s, they employed 80 local people. The wool, and there's a little loop attached there, if you can all see that. Are you okay there? Can you all? Yep. Is that it now? Yeah. You have it multiplied? No. Okay. So this is mohair as it comes off the loom. So that's how it looks when it's woven first. The little loop is still there, but this is your mohair that's finished. So it has been brushed. In the brushing, the little loop is broken, and that's what creates that lovely soft pile on your fabric. Both are very acceptable, but it is that brushed version that you'll see more often. Okay, moving on then, we have a lamb's wool. And again, this is how it looks when it's woven first. Now the texture at this stage is quite hard, but once it's been washed and brushed, now your eyes are not deceiving you, this is not the same piece. This is a different piece, but it has been washed and brushed. So again, that we're just showing you the texture is changed. But I'm also going to point out that these threads here, can you all see those? Mm-hmm. These are not a mistake. This wasn't after a dinner dance now one night that somebody decided. This is actually part of the design of every single throw and scarf that's made here. These straight threads go to create the fringing. So that's how they do it. It's worked into the pattern of the throw itself. Moving on then, we have the lovely wool and cashmere blend. So that's beautifully soft, it speaks for itself. And from this material we've made lots of throws and scarves, so that's what we do. We also make the lovely capes that you can see out in the weaving shed. This is a Shetland wool, but we now also have a 100% Irish wool that we're really delighted to have on board. From that we'd make throws and our lovely coats that we do. So finally we have a worsted wool piece. Now worsted wool is a beautiful light fine wool, often made using merino wool. So as you can hear from that, there's a lot of different products that we use to create what we make here. Shuttle looms that I spoke about downstairs. Here at Avoca there are 9 full-time weavers working. Each of those weavers have served an apprenticeship of between 3 to 5 years, so they are all master craftsmen. This is John, who is one of those weavers. John has almost 30 years experience, so he's well able to weave a blanket or a scarf or two. And on this loom today, he's weaving scarves. Now, laterally, he's weaving 9 scarves at the one time. The dividing line is coming up through the warp of the fabric from those white shuttles on the ground. So they'll be individually cut and finished by the girls who work in the finishing section. John's primary focus is the weaving, and that's what's done here. So how it works is he moves the pedals underneath, so that lifts and raises the shafts at the back. That creates the beam to enable the shuttle to move through. If you want to move up further, you can. That creates the line of weaving because he flicks the shuttle just like that, creating the weaving, and then it's secured into place with what's called a handball at the front. So one line of weaving. Where the design of the fabric is first set into place. So the weavers do this by placing the cones of wool onto that frame in sequence of colour. They thread the wool through the eyelets, and then in segments that thread or wool is rolled out onto the large drum or swift. At the back of that drum there's a device which transfers the threads once more to the smaller spools that you can see here around you. That's your first stage complete. The second stage then is where every single thread needs to be picked up and drawn individually onto the required loop. What you're out into at the moment is the finishing area. So there's a lot of different tasks going on here. When the material has been produced on whatever loom it's been working on, the next stage for the last wool, the wool and cashmere blends, is that fringing is created. That's done in the other loom on the large blue machine at the top. Every single bale of fabric then that's produced comes back here and is checked by hand. So this is quality control. Anything that needs fixing is done so here. Now if it can't be fixed, it makes its way into the seconds area in the store, and that's where it ends up. Then the materials are sent for finishing, and it's at that stage that the brush, your lambswool is washed and brushed. The pieces come back, they're cut aside, as I said, mohair is cut by hand, the rest of the materials are cut again in that other room on the weaving machine. Finally, the pieces come back here where they're labelled, packaged and ready for distribution.
Seeing the hand weaving mill is kind of neat. I've been wishing I could get a nice sweater or something, but they are very expensive. We're talking like $80 to $100 for a nice Avoca hand-woven sweater. So, due to financial considerations, I have avoided purchasing one, but I've seen a lot of really nice scarves and sweaters that I would like to have had. Maybe someday I'll purchase one someplace else and say, I've been there. Did you get your woolen undies or your...
No, I didn't.
Oh no.
Hello. They're friendly. They planned that.
She's a bit of an attention seeker. That's Mary, friend of ours. So anyway, yeah, in the Vikings came, they could find the monasteries because of the... But if it was a windy night, you could sleep soundly because you knew.
Yeah, they made it sound like the villages grew up around these monasteries. Yeah, it's kind of like that. They didn't have towns.
Dwellings and barns.
They didn't really have
12th century, the ecclesiastical settlement was at the peak of its prosperity. This was not a monastery in the modern sense, but a major centre of power and wealth with a strong religious focus. Inside the enclosure, the site was a bustling hive of activity with a large population, the spiritual father of the community. Here stood the cathedral, the primary place of worship.
Okay, so when this chancel was added, it was added in the final style of architecture, which we now call the Roman Arch. You will see lots of this when it travels. You can also spot
I'd put a bunch of sitar music to it.
There's a sugar one.
I think that was a much nicer caravan than the Travelers. I don't know. They're right in the middle of the hedgerow. Well, a little drinky and a little something to eat in the Temple Bar on our last day in Dublin. Yeah. It's quite a nice day, no rain, cool weather on our last day in Dublin. But what can you expect? It's Ireland. If you don't like it, then don't come. Go to New Mexico if you don't want rain.